Hello, and welcome to the Brand Therapist Podcast. I'm your host, Yamilka Rodriguez, and I'm super excited for today's quiz-based insights that I'm going to give you today. So why don't we just go ahead and get right into it? What I wanted to talk about today is the power of quizzes using the Archetype Method. So I'm going to go step by step on how you can create your own quiz using this method. I just started to help other individuals and other business owners create their own quiz using this method, and it's been incredible for them. And they've been able to use it to get quality leads and even close those leads because of the process and the automation that we've taken them through. But I wanted to talk today, first of all, on why it's important to do a quiz based lead and how it can really help you and why it helps your business. First of all, it engages the users and provides valuable insights, not just to you, but to them as well. And also it creates a personalized experience because they're going to be able to see themselves in these answers. And I know that you really have focused on them. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is, now, how do we integrate Archetype Method into the segmentation to help create amazing leads? Okay. And what are the benefits to that? So the first benefit is personalized content. When we segment your audience, right, it's really important to, a lot of times we say, well, we have our avatar, ideal client, but it's great to segment that ideal client into 3 different users, sometimes even 4, depending on the variety of the user that you get. So that's one of the main things that we really want to focus on. And then we tailor that lead magnet to address specific needs and motivations, right? That is key. So this way we can increase the chance of converting them into clients. Okay. I'm so fascinated by this concept, and I thought I wanted to really share it with you so you can understand the benefits of having a quiz as a lead magnet. It's so much better than having a document or something you give them. A lot of people don't have the time to download. But here, when you're trading an email for a quiz, it's something that benefits them and they get to know a little bit more about themselves. And that's why using quizzes as a lead magnet is so amazing for your business. Okay. Now, the second part of that, we talked about personalized content. The second part is the emotional connection, right? Why the emotional connection? Well, the Archetype Method allows you to understand your customer deeply, right? And so really understanding what resonates with them and what doesn't. Because when we're trying to market to a big crowd, we can't address those needs and motivations. That's why it's so important to get very specific on who you're targeting and really address those emotional connections. The other piece that this helps with from a personalized client content is that then you can create newsletters and content that is very specific to them. You also get a benefit because you get to study your customer more. You get to understand a little deeper on their needs. And so then it lets you take that driver's seat and message and nurture them with the appropriate newsletters and things to keep them engaged on your content. The third thing that's amazing about these quizzes is quality lead generation. And the reason why I say quality is because when we have a lead magnet that is a book or something about our business, we don't always get quality leads, right? When we are very specific about the personality quiz, you can then, nobody's going to want to take your quiz unless they're interested in knowing that personality. That already makes them a quality lead. Okay. And then the more they engage and the more they understand, they're going to want to take the next step, which is getting a call with you and understanding more about your products and services. And so attracting that lead and knowing exactly what you're going for is the best way that you can service your client. And I think it's just the power of creating a quiz that's all about their personality, right? And we'll go down into the specifics in just a second. But also, this lead, it really aligns them to your brand, into what you're doing for your business. So I just can't say enough about how amazing quizzes are. And if you are struggling to think about, well, what's the right quiz for me, using the archetype to kind of help you brainstorm will help define those needs and motivations. So the second part, I want to go into the specifics of how we can create these amazing quizzes. So first of all, we want to identify the archetype, right? So what happens is when you go through my process, and if you haven't yet, please go to bespokebranding.io, BESPOKE branding.io, take the quiz so you can find out who your archetype is. And remember, I have other videos on specifically going into the superfan, so you might want to go and review that video, because knowing your superfan is what's going to help you segment the lead, right? So understanding everything about your superfan, their needs, their desires, their motivations, is then going to help you segment them. Okay, this is genius, by the way. So the quiz is not just about writing the questions, it's about knowing the end result. So if you know so then what you do, once you know your superfan, segment it into 3 different profiles. And the way you do this is think about your ideal client, use the motivations, needs of the archetype, and then find 3 pieces of differentiation that makes them a little different than the other. And one of those can be, they might be a little bit more connected, or they might be a little bit more driven, or one of your clients is going to be more about independence. So that's how you could segment those 3 personas through one archetype. Okay. Then the next thing you do is you create the personality-based quiz. So you start to craft the questions. Okay. And this is the genius about it. So what you do is you have the 3 different profiles, right? Let's say one's more about connection. The other one's more about success-driven factors or motivations. And the last one is about them being more free to do things or being more independent. Okay. So then you ask 3 questions, right? One is targeting that connection-based profile. The second question is targeting that success-driven segment. And the third question is targeting the freedom and doing their own thing segment. Okay. And that's how you then have 3 questions, because you want to make sure that they're clicking on the same answer as they go down through the questions. You want to do about 4 to 5 questions, not too many, because then people get bored and they're going to not want to finish the quiz and give you their email. That's the other thing. You want to make sure that you don't ask them for an email until they answer the questions. So really focusing on creating a personalized based quiz and understanding how to write the questions based on the end result of that segment that you design. The other thing about questions, just really quickly, is you don't want to ask questions that are too much in their head. So you want to ask them things like, what's your favorite color? And then it's not just about saying blue or white, but why blue, right? And defining that in more of a connection way, or more of a success way, or more of a interdependence way. And that's how you get through the questions, right? So really thinking creatively about what kind of questions you're going to ask so they can deliver on their particular segment and personality. The next thing you want to do is segment the leads, okay? So the way you do this is you really want to find a CRM system that you can use to then tag the leads, put them in a sort of email sequence, and start nurturing them through newsletters. So you do need a system that then you can connect all the questions to, and also deliver not just on the answer, but then on nurturing your leads and continuing to nurture them through a CRM system. So the thing that's really important about this is that, it's not enough to have the quiz. You kind of have to have the back end piece of this. So if you need any help with a CRM system, please let me know. I have the perfect person for you. He's pretty incredible, and he's done many quizzes for me, so he knows exactly what he's doing. So happy to help you with that. And then the last piece is a strong lead magnet, right? We talked about that at the beginning. Really getting to a quality lead or that strong lead magnet, right? So what happens is, and for many of my clients, what they've done is once they go through their quiz, which they use it a lot when they're on stages or giving a presentation, and you don't have a lot of time to connect with them, but to engage them on a quiz, they will click on it because they will be interested to learn about themselves. So that's how my clients use them. So once they answer the quiz, they get an application form to know more about them and to have a sales call so they can talk about their services. So that's how this works. And let's say 80% of the time, they're booking that call because when they come into your quiz, they're already qualified because they wouldn't do the quiz unless it's something that was interesting to them. And that's the key. You have to find out what they want so you can give it to them, right? It's not just about knowing the answer of their personality profile. It's also about giving them steps to achieve more, to be able to get better, to give them ideas of how they can get to the next level. And that's how then they say, okay, this person is an expert. I want to have a call with them. And it really builds trust for your business. So quizzes are amazing things to build trust and get people into your pipeline and make them new customers. The other piece that I just want to be very intentional about is when you do quizzes, and especially when you do profile quizzes, it gets to the emotional connection. So it makes this underlying connection of them really knowing that you care and that you would be a great person to work with. And that's why archetypes are amazing, because you can really get to a deep relationship with your client just by knowing the quiz. And if you want to know more about the quiz, don't forget to sign up for the beta certification program starting in October. So October 1st. So you're kind of late in the process if you're listening to this at the end of September, because you really want to get in and understand, because this will help you build quizzes, get more clients, and really understand your client at a deep level. So this is what I wanted to bring to you today, is really how to use quizzes for your business and how to make a quiz using archetypes, and the power of getting a great lead magnet that attracts qualified leads. So thank you for listening, and I hope to see you on the next episode of The Brand Therapist. And I will say goodbye to you and see you on the next show.